My suggestion, best things about post-NFL season life. Because, we grind it out through the Super Bowl as professionals. What's the best thing about that release?
Excuse me? Pause. Dan, you good with your topic being our topic?
Sure.
Okay. I'll let you go first. It's your topic.
There is something that it feels like it's running free in a field, and it's nothing against the National Football League. But that first Sunday after the season, you're not beholden to the NFL. We love it. We love watching it, and we are going to miss it while it's gone. But that first weekend, there's just this unexplainable freedom because we haven't hit the stretch run of March Madness coming up. This weekend, we've got the All-Star game in the NBA and the Daytona 500. Those are nice, passive things to sit there and sit around, watch the race, sit back, watch the game at night. I know you're not a fan, Doug, but just the weird freedom of not being tied to the NFL for a Sunday, to me, is just, it's liberating.
I agree. I think we had a little bit of a warm-up for it with the 2-week break this year, right? Because that weekend before where they had the Pro Bowl, I guarantee most of you are like, I don't know what to do with myself on a Sunday. I'm so used to waiting for football, right? So I completely understand. My favorite part post-NFL season.
The Midway.
I think my favorite part obviously it's like basketball, college basketball that I love becomes important. But I also think it's like you collect yourself and realize all the nonsensical stories and teams that you bought into when you didn't have to. Like, I can't believe that for a second there, I thought it'd be somebody other than the Chiefs and the Niners, right? Remember we were kind of getting like, are the Cowboys good? The Cowboys are the Cowboys. I bought into the Chargers thing. That thing lasted like 2 weeks, right? 3 weeks. To me, it's you get to catch a breath and realize I fell for it again. It's like 3-card Monty. I can't believe I was duped again. I knew who was going to be there. I knew who was going to win. That's my best thing about post Super Bowl.
I like the basketball thing. For you, Doug,
yeah.
and for people that do what you do for a living. Like, for whatever reason, this is the time, and this has become more and more prevalent since we've gotten into this industry. Basketball counts now. Now we could have takes on basketball.
Yeah.
College a little less so, obviously, but NBA takes are now a premium.
It's a great one. Here's I want to disturb your thought process. Okay, but the perfect example is the trade deadline was last week. The LeBron story came out today because if it's reported last week, nobody cares. Reported this week, like, oh, now we get a chance to have something for sports radio outside of Kyle Shanahan taking the kickoff in overtime.
That's a good point. It would have been just buried. Woj is smart for that. What I love about it, and I'm gonna kind of intermingle two things: Valentine's Day and the end of football. My super hot girlfriend Christina literally said to me, "Football is over after Sunday night's game," and what that means for me, what that means for us, the amount of free time that we get to spend together. That is essential and that is important. And it also speaks to just how much of a grind the football season is for our significant others. I don't know if you guys feel this.
I don't think so.
But she gives me guilt on a weekly basis.
Oh, yeah.
Until the end of the
But they honestly, they have they can set you in front of a TV and not worry about you. Right? It's like what you do with your kid when you have the iNanny, the iPad, right? Just put them in front of the iPad. They're fine. Like, you don't even need a babysitter anymore. It's kind of the same thing for us as adults. What's your husband doing? What's your boyfriend doing? Like, don't worry about that idiot. He's watching TV. Like, they love Sundays. Actually, it's probably way worse for Lisa, right? Because now Lisa's like, God, now it's good for you because you don't have to deal with you. Now she's like, don't you want to work on the yard? Don't you want to work in the yard? And you had Brody, she had built-in babysitting every Sunday. She could do whatever she wanted. You got Brody sitting there. You got you. You love it. You love football. You love your kid. Then you go off to work. She doesn't worry about you at all.
Sundays they go over to Grandpa's, and that's what they do. That's what they hang out at Bubba's house. And so, yeah, then when I'm done with football and maybe have a little bit more, and I'm here on Sundays doing my show, but still, she's like, oh, yeah, okay.
All right. You're around like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
It's like this happens, like lots of people get divorced when they retire because you're like, you know what, I don't actually like you. We were a lot better when you weren't here.
Sure.
You know?
Familiarity
Midway.
wears contempt. Is that the?
Yeah, familiarity brings contempt, sure.
I'll tell you what, I was always, for a big part of my life, I was a can't wait till fall for football guy. And about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I just started to love summer. Just love summer. And not that football was something I didn't enjoy. It was, I'm looking ahead to summer. So now it's March Madness, Masters early April that I look forward to. And then after that, summer's just around the corner. Like, I feel like a bit of almost a rebirth. We're going to change our clocks in a month, so it'll be lighter later again. Like, I get jacked about that sort of stuff.
Well,
I'm a big summer guy.
I'll say, for me, obviously it's different, like the college basketball thing. I remember when my girls were born, this was 18 years ago on April 14th. God, dang, I'm old. Anyway, like that day, what was special about the day was not just the next day my daughters were born, because their mom went into labor at the time really early. But it was like, I remember coming home, and part of it was, if you don't live in California, the seasons change as well, right? So in April in Connecticut, it was like the first sunny, warm day. It was the first day I didn't have Sports Center. Like, I came home, like messed around with the dogs. It was great. So there is a certain like seasonal change and a freedom change. So I totally get football. People are like, man, finally got my life back, right? But I just don't have my life back yet because I still have a couple more months here of 360 plus college basketball players.
For me, it's because I'm not as, I don't want to say into it. So you're working, you're doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm now enjoying it. I'm not calling games. I'm sitting back and I'm, flipping around, having a good time with it. I can't wait for championship week to come up. It is a positive. It is a big positive for me to have that. Tiger Woods teeing off this weekend. Hopefully,
I was with my friends, the Leahys, who they're working this week, actually doing a site survey for when the U.S. Women's Open comes in 26. But it's at Riv.
Yeah,
that Riviera, like amazing, right? Talk about perfect timing. Tiger Woods teeing off tomorrow at Riv with his new golf gear, signature golf gear. After we have no football, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's great.
Awesome. As much as all those drunken idiots tried to ruin the WMO.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally, they stopped serving alcohol because you got people that are complete idiots.
It seemed like it, I don't want to say jumped the shark, but it did cross a line this year. Last year I went there, it was awesome.
Yeah, this year too much.
It got way too out of control.
And that's the Midway.
The Midway.